Hi everybody! Great job yesterday. I know that was super hard and it might have been something you haven't seen before, but I'm really impressed. A lot of you did so well. So today we're going to do the review for the open response part of the test, and there will be 3 questions just like these. So let's read number 1. It says, explore what happens to the product when you double a factor. For example, multiply 2 times 3, then double the 2 and multiply 4 times 3. Okay, let's start with that. So I wrote down 2 times 3 and then double the 2. So I doubled the 2, right? I did 2 times 2 to get 4, and then do 4 times 3. So let's do 2 times 3 first, which is 6. Then let's do 4 times 3, which is 12. And then what happens to our product or the answer? Well, I doubled the 2. My answer also doubled. If I do 6 times 2, I get 12. And then it says begin with 2 and 3 again, but this time double the other factor. So I'm going to leave the 2 alone, and now I'm going to double the 3. So I did 3 times 2 to get to 6. Now let's solve and see if the same thing happens. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. And see, my answer doubled again. So what you're going to write for number 1 is when you double a factor, what happens to your answer or your product? Your product also doubles. Okay, so that's number 1. When you double a factor, your product also doubles. Let's move on to number 2. It says, try doubling one of the factors in other multiplication facts. Show your work. So they don't want you to use 2 times 3 anymore because we already did that. Now they just want you to prove that this is correct, that anytime you double a factor, the product will also double. So I wrote some down right here. If I want to do 4 times 4 and I want to see if I double one factor, will the answer double? I picked this 4 to double, right? I did 4 times 2 to get 8. So 4 times 2 equals 16. 8 times 4 equals 32. Yep, 16 times 2 is also 32. So my product doubled. Let's try it with 3 times 3. I doubled my 3 right here to get 6. Now let's solve. 3 times 3 equals 9. 6 times 3 equals 18. Did my answer double? Yes, because 9 times 2 is 18. Let's try one more. I have 5 times 2, and then I made it 10 times 2, and I made it a 10 because I doubled the 5. And now I'm going to solve. 5 times 2 equals 10. 10 times 2 equals 20. So our answer for this, it's saying describe a pattern that you see. So we're going to say something similar. When you double the factor, the answer doubles too. So this is very similar to the first one. The answer doubles too. The only thing that's different about number 1 is that they want you to write a couple of examples. Okay, it says show your work. So they don't just want words, they want you to show a few different examples. So you might say, well, that's the same exact answer. Yeah, the words are the same answers, but we want a few examples. So remember that for your test, okay? So now let's go to number 3. So it says, based on your work with doubling factors, predict what will happen when you triple a factor. So let's write our prediction first. I started out, I predict that, okay, so if I'm thinking of the 2 times 3, and if we doubled the 2, that means our answer doubled. So I'm going to predict that if we triple a factor, what do you think is going to happen to your product or your answer? If we triple a factor, our answer will be tripled too. And now let's think of some examples and let's make sure that we are correct. So I would convince someone that my prediction is correct by showing them these examples. So let's try out 2 times 6. So I know 2 times 6 is 12. So I'm going to pick one factor to triple, not double, but I'm going to triple it. I'm going to pick the 2. 2 times 3, that's how I triple it, is 6. And then I'm going to keep this 6. We're going to see what happens to our product. 6 times 6 equals 36. Did our product triple? Is 12 times 3 36? Yes, it is. So that's correct. I'm going to write one more example to make sure. Let's try 3 times 4. I'm going to double my 3 right here. So 3 times 3 equals 9. 3 times 4 equals 12. 9 times 4 equals 36. I know that 12 times 3 equals 36, so that works. And just because those were the same answers, let's try another one, just to be sure. Let's do 5 times 3 this time. Okay, so let's triple the 5. 5 times 3 is 15 times 3. So I know 5 times 3 is 15. What if I don't know 15 times 3 off the top of my head? I do know 10 times 3 equals 30. And I know 1 times 15 equals 15. I can just add these together. Oops, sorry. And get 45. So 15 times 3 is 45. So that would work. Okay? So just make sure that you have a few examples for each one to get full credit. The words are great, but we want some equations too, okay? Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, guys.